Have you ever truly asked yourself, who really owns your computer? You chose the brand? You selected the specs. You paid for the hardware. And yet, behind the scenes, there's a different story. A story of hidden code, silent updates, secret permissions. A story where your operating system may answer to someone else before it answers to you. You think you have control. But the truth is, control in the digital world is deceptive. It wears the mask of user interfaces and friendly prompts. But underneath, someone else is driving. We don't think twice when we accept terms of service. We don't hesitate to click install. But what exactly are we giving away, one click at a time? Chapter 1. You don't own what you can't see. Ownership in the digital realm isn't defined by physical possession. You can hold your laptop in your hands, but do you understand what it's doing while it sleeps? While it boots? While it connects to the world? Your OS loads firmware you've never seen. Your drivers interact with your hardware in ways you'll never fully observe. Your network stack could be routing data through third-party services right now, without your consent, without your knowledge. Pre-installed software you didn't ask for runs in the background. Proprietary components act like black boxes. You can't modify them. You can't inspect them. And you certainly can't trust them. True ownership begins when you see everything. And right now, you don't. Chapter 2. Vulnerable by design. Security isn't a mistake. It's a choice. And sometimes, it's a compromise. Most commercial operating systems are designed to be convenient, not secure. To prioritize ease of use over defense. To make onboarding faster, at the cost of visibility and control. Every background service you don't understand is a possible entry point. Every dependency you didn't install manually is a potential risk. And every closed source component could be a backdoor waiting for a command. Software today is so bloated, so entangled, that even developers don't fully understand what their own systems are doing. It's no wonder attackers thrive. They don't need to break the system, they just wait for someone to leave a window open. Chapter 3. Who has access? You sit alone at your machine. But you're not alone. Think about it, how many applications did you grant microphone access to without reading the prompt? How many background processes connect to third-party servers every time you launch a browser or open a document? Your system pings telemetry servers. Your apps check in with license managers. Your keyboard input may be logged. Your camera may be active. And you wouldn't even know. What you call a personal computer may be a platform for someone else's code. Your data isn't just yours. Your behavior is monitored, analyzed, and monetized. And unless you stop it at the root, that won't change. Chapter 4. Security is not a product. Security is not an app you download. It's not a checkbox. It's not a feature in a glossy brochure. Security is design. Security is awareness. Security is hard-earned understanding. You can't outsource trust. You can't install safety. You have to build it. When you rely on systems you didn't create, you accept unknown risks. Default passwords. Exposed ports. Open APIs. Obscure bugs. The question isn't whether your system has flaws. It does. The question is whether you know where they are, and whether you can fix them without waiting for a vendor. Chapter 5, The Case for Building Your Own. What if you didn't accept the defaults? What if you stripped your system down to the kernel and rebuilt it with full intent? No more mystery demons. No more uninvited connections. No more bloated updates. You choose the kernel. You choose the init system. You decide what boots, what runs, and what stays dead. When you build your system, you decide how it breathes, how it defends itself, how it interacts with the world. And most importantly, you decide who has the keys. Chapter 6, Linux, BSD, and beyond. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. There's a rich world of open source projects that hand you the blueprints, if you're willing to read them. Linux from Scratch teaches you how systems are built, one package at a time. Gentoo and Arch give you control down to the compile flags. FreeBSD offers clean, readable source code and rock-solid security. OpenBSD prioritizes correctness and auditability above all else. These are not user-friendly systems. But that's the point. They are not built to hide complexity. They are built to reveal it. Because what you can see, you can trust. Chapter 7, Learning is Liberation. We're taught to fear the command line. To believe that the inner workings of computers are reserved for geniuses. But that's a lie. The tools are there. The knowledge is public. And every step you take towards learning your system frees you a little more from digital dependence. When you understand how a kernel boots, you're not scared when it fails. When you understand system permissions, you don't need to trust unknown software. And when you understand scripting, networking, logs, and ports, you see what most users never see. And that makes you strong. Chapter 8, The Experimental Mindset. Building your system is not about perfection. It's about iteration. You will break things. You will reboot into a black screen. You will lose logs, mess up configs, crash your desktop. And in those moments, you'll learn more than years of passive use could ever teach you. Experimentation teaches adaptability. Debugging builds patience. And creation builds confidence. You stop fearing the machine. You start bending it to your will. Chapter 9, The world is hostile. Your computer doesn't live in isolation. It's connected to routers, servers, services, the cloud. That means it's exposed. And attackers don't sleep. They scan ports every second. They exploit outdated packages. They deploy 0 days against default configurations. No commercial OS can protect you from that. No antivirus can outthink a human with intent. Only a hardened system, understood and customized by its owner, can stand strong in the wild. And that owner has to be you. Chapter 10, Constant Evolution. Your system will never be done. Nor should it be. As threats evolve, your defenses must evolve with them. You'll learn new tools, new protocols, new methods of isolation and control. 1 month you'll implement encrypted containers. The next you'll sandbox your browser. Later, you'll configure network namespaces, SE Linux, AppArmor, or FireJail. The journey isn't about arriving at perfection. It's about staying one step ahead, forever. Chapter 11, Freedom requires effort. Here's the truth most won't tell you: freedom is inconvenient. You won't have drag and drop answers. You won't get friendly tech support. You won't be able to blame the vendor. But that inconvenience is the price of autonomy. When you write your own rules, you accept responsibility. And in return, you gain control. You become immune to forced obsolescence. You become independent from licensing models. You become master of your machine. And that is rare. Chapter 12, Digital Sovereignty. True sovereignty isn't just political. It's digital. When your OS doesn't report to a corporation, when your software doesn't phone home, when your data never leaves your drive, you are sovereign. You make the rules. You write the policies. You audit the system. You no longer beg for permission. You own the keys. And when things go wrong, because they always will, you can fix them on your own terms. That's power. And it's yours to claim. Conclusion: build, break, own. The world is full of noise. Pre-built solutions. Plug-and-play promises. Polished systems that hide their rot beneath the surface. But you don't have to accept them. You can build your own system. From the kernel up. From logic, not convenience. From choice, not coercion. You will fail. You will struggle. But through that struggle, you will emerge with something precious, a machine that obeys only you. A system without secrets. A computer without compromise. In a digital age of surveillance and control, the most radical act is to build your own. Now go build. Intro, the illusion of control, minutes 0 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Have you ever asked yourself, is your computer really yours? You paid for it. You chose the processor, the RAM, the brand. You picked the operating system. You even installed the software. But underneath that glossy screen, beneath the interface and icons, who's really in control? Every operating system you use was made by someone else. Every application follows rules you didn't write. Every update, every patch, every line of code, was executed without your full knowledge. You believe you're the master of the machine. But what if you're just a guest? Brain emoji, Chapter 1, you don't own what you can't see. Minutes 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Windows isn't yours. Mac OS isn't yours. Even most Linux distributions aren't truly yours, unless you understand them, recompile them, modify them. Ownership in the digital world doesn't mean possession. It means understanding. It means control at the source. Your computer runs firmware you've never read. Drivers you didn't write. Binary blobs loaded at boot, hidden from your view, beyond your reach. You own the hardware. But the software still belongs to someone else. Closed lock with key emoji, Chapter 2, vulnerable by design. Minutes 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Modern systems are convenient, fast, pretty, integrated, but also vulnerable by design. Backdoors exist. Some intentional, some accidental. Your operating system calls home, to vendors, to cloud services, to analytics. Ports stay open. Processes run in the background. Permissions are silently granted. Default settings favor usability over security. Convenience over autonomy. And every automatic feature is a potential risk. Warning emoji, Chapter 3, who has access? Minutes 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Ask yourself, who else has access to your machine? Your browser sends telemetry. Your OS reports crash logs. Some apps scan your clipboard. Others listen to your microphone. Even when your computer is idle, something is always watching. Logging, analyzing, syncing. Most users will never notice. And that's the point. Because when control is an illusion, you stop asking questions. Right magnifying glass emoji, Chapter 4, Security is not a product. Minutes 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. You can install antivirus. You can run firewalls. You can encrypt your files. But true security isn't a tool. It's a mindset. A habit. A way of building and interacting with your system. The only real security is knowing what runs on your machine. When, why, and how. Everything else is patchwork. Chapter 5, The Case for Building Your Own. Imagine this instead. You build your own operating system. Or you customize an open source one from the kernel up. Every module. Every service. You choose what runs. You choose what stays out. You strip out the trackers. Remove the telemetry. Disable remote access. Audit every package. Suddenly, your system is no longer a black box. It's a transparent, controllable tool. No backdoors. No bloated dependencies. No mysteries. Only intentional computing. Chapter 6, Linux, BSD, and beyond. You don't have to start from zero. Linux from scratch. Gentoo. Arch. Void Linux. FreeBSD. OpenBSD. These systems let you choose. They ask you questions. They require your input. And in that process, you gain power. You learn the bootloader. You configure the kernel. You decide what services run at startup. It's not easy. But it's real. It's not fast. But it's yours. Chapter 7, Learning is Liberation. They told you, you don't need to understand how it works. Just use it. But that's how control is lost. That's how dependence begins. The more you learn, the more free you become. When you understand the file system, you're no longer afraid of errors. When you understand the boot process, you don't panic when it breaks. When you understand permissions, you decide who can enter. Knowledge is power. And power brings security. Chapter 8, The Experimental Mindset. Building your system isn't just a technical act. It's philosophical. It's choosing to think critically. To reject defaults. To experiment. Yes, you'll break things. Yes, it'll take time. But with every reboot, every kernel panic, every line of shell script, you become less of a user and more of a creator. You shift from consumer to architect. And that changes everything. Chapter 9, The World is Hostile. The modern internet is a battlefield. Hackers, state actors, surveillance companies, they scan, exploit, infiltrate. Your data is currency. Your habits are harvested. Even a clean install isn't clean anymore. Even offline isn't safe, if the firmware is compromised. In this landscape, default systems are not enough. You need your system hardened, audited, intentionally crafted. Chapter 10, Constant Evolution. Your custom system is not static. It evolves. It adapts to your needs. Need speed. Optimize boot time. Need privacy. Harden the kernel. Need anonymity. Root through Tor and Sandbox every app. It's a living project. A digital reflection of your values. And as you grow, it grows with you. Every command you write, every line of config you tweak, every service you disable, you reclaim a piece of your digital autonomy. Chapter 11, Freedom requires effort. Let's be honest, freedom isn't easy. You won't get hand-holding. You'll Google obscure errors. You'll spend nights fixing what a GUI would have hidden. But that effort means ownership. The more effort you put in, the more the system reflects you. It becomes leaner, faster, safer. Because it's not built for the average. It's built for you. Chapter 12, Digital Sovereignty. True digital sovereignty means this: you know every process that runs, you trust every connection, you decide what is allowed to execute, no one else installs updates for you, no one else makes decisions for you, you are no longer at the mercy of vendors, big tech, hidden code, or mysterious permissions. You are sovereign. You are the root user of your life. Conclusion: build, break, own. The future is uncertain. But one thing is clear: passive users are vulnerable. Creators are resilient. Build your own system. Start simple. Learn deeply. Strip away what you don't need. Strengthen what matters. Because in a world of hidden backdoors and silent intrusions, the only safe computer is the one you understand from the first bit to the last byte. Take back control. Start building.